All right, it's time for social studies, and we're going to be talking about volunteering and doing service projects today. Okay, so this top question here says, how can citizens make a difference? We know how to be a good citizen, be responsible, follow the rules, follow the laws, but I want to know how we can make a difference because just following the laws, it's good to follow the laws, but I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference so that everybody can see it. So that's what we're going to try today. Okay. Each year, the students at McKinley Elementary take part in a school service project. A service project is a school or community activity. Service projects allow students to learn how to make decisions and help others at the same time. Okay, so it's an activity that helps others and they learn how to make decisions during those activities. Okay. Last year, the students of the school helped to clean their school. They also picked up trash in their community and learned how to take care of the environment. Take a look at the poster. It shows other projects the students have worked on. So here, this boy here, what kind of service is he doing? He's got a paint roller. Looks like he's cleaning up the wall. It looks like other people drew on the wall or painted on the wall, and he's cleaning it up so it looks nice. So that's what I would say. He is cleaning up the wall. Okay. The Helping Hands group decided to collect school supplies for some people that might not have enough money to buy school supplies. They also decided they could maybe cook meals for sick people. They could read to children or tutor children. Tutor means help them study, help them work on math or writing or reading. Or they could plant school and community gardens. Okay. We already talked about what a service project was up above here. So I want to show you a video of some other students that decided to volunteer. It's just another way that you could choose to volunteer. Okay, so I'm going to go to that now and watch it with you.
There are plenty of things that kids can do to help. Catherine Shell is an adult volunteer who also supervises the kids.
We have a trail that runs through the county park that we're in, and we had the children go out and help us clean the trail today. We keep it open so that people can come and enjoy the park.
They also have feeding stations for the birds that the children can fill to encourage the birds to stay around.
I'm wondering why they would want the birds to stay around. They're feeding them. They're making sure that the area is clean for them. Why do you think they'd want the birds to stay around?
We have to cut it up very small. The birds that we're feeding are very small birds.
In the kitchen, fresh food is prepared for the animals that are recovering from injuries. The birds really appreciate a homemade meal.
So you put them down in a different spot. I do look forward to having the children come and volunteer. Thank you for helping with the turtles. You did a very good job.
These kids looked in their kitchen cabinets and found something very valuable. Extra food for the homeless shelter. They boxed it and bagged it and brought it down.
Thumbs up if you've ever donated food. We have the backpack program at Harris. You might have last year gave cans to Mrs. Ballard and donated food to other people that might not have enough money to buy food. Okay. So some people might not have enough money to eat dinner. So they're donating some extra food that they had in their pantry or their cabinets, and they're donating it to people that are in need.
What do you have today? Okay, we have milk, BBUs, crackers. Okay. You got Jello? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
My name is Jenica. Where are you from?
I raised up on a
a big farm. Older people who can't live with their own families anymore look forward to the company of friends. Where you live. This group of young volunteers visits with their elderly neighbors once a week. Together, they share stories, play games, and learn new things about each other.
Elderly means older people. Some older people, they can't live at their homes anymore. They might need help to live. And so they go to somewhere that might be called a nursing home, and they might not see their family very often. So some people volunteer to go and talk with them. They volunteer to spend time with them because they might be lonely from not seeing their family. So that's what these kiddos are doing.
You don't need to be part of an organization to help out. Monica is collecting food from her neighbors.
Hi, can't you food for the hungry?
Oh, that's right. I got your flyer. Hold on, I have some cans for you.
Okay.
She plans to pack up the donations and send them to hungry children overseas.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
When you volunteer, everyone benefits. Maybe you want to make your neighborhood a more attractive place to live, or even more environmentally sound. Or maybe you want to help a neighbor in another part of the world who might need food or clothing. But how do you get started? Where do you go for guidance? Well, if you're hungry to help, there's always a place that will give you plenty of food for thought. Your local library. But you don't have to take my word for it. Take his.
All right, so I'm going to go back to our other page and we can talk more about service projects. So you heard a little bit of some options that you could do for service projects. You can donate food. You could help out in an animal shelter. You could go to a nursing home. You could, has anybody ever donated clothing that maybe they grew out of? I know my kiddos grow out of clothing, so sometimes we'll drop off some of their clothing that they don't fit in anymore, and we'll drop it off to Goodwill or other places, and then they sell it to people that might need it as well. Okay, so that's another option that you could do. He also talked about making your community look better. So there's some ways that you could do that. You could pick up trash in your neighborhood. I've seen that on the sides of the street. You could plant gardens so that you have something nice to look at. All right, so there's lots of options that you can do. And when you do those things, you might be making a difference then. You're being a good citizen, but you're also being a citizen that's making a difference. So maybe try to think of something that you could do to volunteer, or a service project that you could do to help out your community. This year, students at McKinley Elementary helped to plant a school and community garden. Grace made a book about the project. Let's read what she had to say. She said, garden rules. Before we plant the garden, we talk about garden rules. We need garden rules so that no one gets hurt. So over here are the garden rules. Safety first. Good citizens always follow the rule. You guys know that. Some of the garden rules: no running with tools. That's part of safe. We don't run with our school tools either. What would happen if you would run with scissors? You'd get hurt. If you run with some of the tools for the garden, those are sharp too. You can't run with a shovel. You might hit somebody with it. You might fall on it. Walk with tools by your side. That's a good thing to do. Return tools to their place. We do that after working as well. If we're done with writing, we put all of our writing supplies away in a nice spot. That way we can find them easier the next day. And no walking on the plants. You're going to destroy them. They're very fragile. Fragile is kind of a fancy word for the breakable, or you have to just kind of be gentle with fragile things. So we don't want to walk on the plants. The adults help us to get rid of the grass and the weeds. Make sure you pull out all of the roots. We planted rows of carrots, lettuce, peas, and potatoes. Oh, water, water, water. One of our classroom jobs is to water the garden. We all take turns and watch our garden grow. and helping others. The veggies will go to people who do not have food. It's our way of helping our community. So these good citizens not only made their community look better by having a garden and cleaned up the garden, but they're also going to donate the food that comes from the garden to people that don't have food. Okay, so what great citizens. Again, think of ways that you could be a good citizen in your community. Maybe try one of these